If you have planets in your first house, your rising sign might not even be what people notice first, because your rising sign, your first impressions, that's your mask. But when you have planets in your first house, those add to your first impressions, okay? That's the energy that's leaking through the mask, okay? And yes, this is a continuation from my rising sign versus having planets in your first house video. But now we're gonna look at the planets in a more in-depth look. But I'm going to start with the celestial bodies or astrological bodies that's not talked about enough that you can have in the first house. Babes, let's get into it and break it down. Having your North Node in the first house means that your life path is about becoming your own person. Self discovery, because you're learning to develop your independence, your confidence, and a strong personal identity instead of developing or defining who you are through other people, okay? And you might have relied heavily on relationships, compromising, or validation early in life, or you probably could still be going through that in certain circumstances. But y'all growth comes from trusting your instincts, but also being a director of your own life, like prioritizing your own direction. This placement pushes you to stand out, okay? Lead and make decisions for yourself. The more you honor your individuality and authenticity and stop shrinking to maintain harmony, the more aligned and the more successful your life becomes, babe. Now, having your South Node in the first house means that you came into this life already very familiar with self reliance and survival instincts, okay? You're someone who naturally focuses on your needs, your independence, your own agenda, sometimes without even realizing how strongly like you operate on your own, how independent you are. Because of this, relationships can feel challenging or can feel like you need to compromise more than what you're used to. Y'all growth is going to come from moving towards the seventh house energy of partnerships, cooperation, and considering others equally. Learning to share space, trust people, and build balanced relationships. That's what's going to help you to evolve beyond the instinct of like handling everything by your lonesome, by yourself. Chiron in the first house points to a wound relating or connected to identity, self-image, or like just the right to exist as you are, autonomy. Growing up may have felt different or felt like you was exposed or just overly aware of how others perceived you, right? Feeling judged, misunderstood, or like something about your appearance or personality made you stand out in an uncomfortable way. And because the first house is about the body and presence, the wound can sometimes show up as insecurity about how you look, how you act, or whether you're too much or not enough. Over time, this placement is going to push you to heal your relationship with yourself, okay? It's going to be real icky, emotional, but as you learn self acceptance and stop defining yourself through the opinions of other people, babes, you become a powerful inspiration and guide for others that's struggling with confidence or their identity. Your pain becomes wisdom, and your presence can be reassuring to others who feel out of place because you understand what it means to fully be yourself, your authentic self. Lilith in the first house gives you a raw, unapologetic presence that people notice immediately, okay? And there's often something about these people's aura, body language, eyes, even that feel intense, rebellious, or just hard to control. And even if you're not trying to stand out, yes, people may project strong assumptions onto you, seeing you as intimidating, seductive, or mysterious, or just too much, right? And these assumptions and projections stem all the way from childhood, okay? Growing up, you may have been bullied or judged for simply being yourself, which can create like a early awareness that your natural personality challenges people. When you have Lilith in the first house, it teaches you the power of owning your own authenticity without shrinking for others' comfort, okay? When you stop being more acceptable and start embracing your individuality, that's when you become more magnetic, incredibly magnetic at that. Y'all presence can inspire others to break social rules, okay, and reclaim their independence and reclaim their confidence and to stop apologizing for who they are.